All right, so what I'm going to be doing today is kind of a baseline assessment, see where I'm at with my shoulder. For those of you that are new, I have an old rotator cuff injury. Doesn't really bother me too much now, except for when I'm throwing forehands, and I don't have the power I used to have with my throw, and also just very nervous because when I do throw, it starts to bother me when I start to push it a little bit. So a couple things when starting assessment. I like to have goals. And so part of what this assessment is establishing what's a reasonable goal for me in terms of strength and kind of where to go from there. So I'm basically treating myself like one of my clients that I might have that comes in with an injury. We're going to get some baseline tests and strength. And tomorrow, I think I'm going to try to get baseline tests in my distance. So I actually have like numbers of like, hey, here's where I'm at now. And so I can start working on my form and as well as the strength and stability and see where I can get to. So right now, just spitballing, short-term goals I think that I want is, or medium-term goals is today's October 16th, and by the beginning of the year, I want to be able to throw 300 feet on forehand fairly consistently. I don't know if that's reasonable or not, but we're gonna go for it. But 300 feet, and then also be able to throw a forehand only round on one of my local courses, Briscoe Park. So those are the two big goals. Right down the middle, it seems like a good start. New London layout, so I'm excited to see that. But anyways, when I have a client come in, I use VALD. Let me grab it here. So I like to use the VALD dynamometer. What this does is it gives me a super accurate representation of where my strength is at. So I will get that set up here. But basically what I'm going to do is compare the strength of my rotation. So I'm coming back here, going in, kind of both of those motions there with the forehand. But really I just want to get overall shoulder strength and stability, compare it one side to the other. And the good thing that I like about VALD is it also has the normative values for other people my age, and I can even categorize it by different athletes. Unfortunately, they don't have disc golfers on there. That's another long-term goal. I want to be able to expand so that there's more research and data available for disc golfers, but that's just long-term vision. But anyways, so we're gonna get started with testing some shoulder strength here. So my range of motion, I'm gonna test that too, but overall pretty good. I have a little bit of discomfort at the end range there, but nothing crazy. One other symptom I do have is in certain positions, it almost feels like a cramp or just like a really sore sensation with certain ranges of motion that this one does not have. So a lot of times that's a little bit of rotator cuff irritation. Yeah. And again, this is my first time kind of filming this stuff. I really want this to be for just a disc golfer looking for, what to do with their shoulder pain. So if any of this jargon you don't understand, just let me know, because a lot of times I'm in my own world, and so I know what I'm trying to say. But if I'm using terms that you're not familiar with, just let me know in the comments, and I'll try to explain it a little bit better. No disc golf category. What a shame. Muscle testing here is going to be a little bit different than what you might see at like traditional PT. A lot of times that's just like push, hold here. That can be good for doing like an initial assessment, seeing if there's anything crazy wrong, but especially if you're trying to return to a sport or get to that higher level. If you're not really assessing with something that can give you actual numbers, you're just guessing. A little bit of band work, and I like the halos for scapular and shoulder mobility. Shout out Rick for this sick Hades. Yeah, so let's get going. Okay, so first one we're gonna do is called external rotation. So bringing the arm back like this. I'm not sure if y'all can see this here. Move a little closer. Okay, so for each of these, I do 3 tests on each side. So we're gonna do, all right, so first one I'm gonna do is shoulder external rotation. So taking this and pulling it back or rotating back. Okay. Oh man, that was not good. Okay. So, snap. Maybe I edit it to the next side. We'll see. All right, so got in a good position. So now the left side. Okay. Whew. So, I'll move this closer so y'all can see. So, here's my initial results here. This was my best one. So if we go for each rep at 99 newtons on the right, 127 on the left, you can already see 21% asymmetry on that first rep. Second rep, I got a little bit better. Looks like on both. Third rep was my best, 17%. So if you go to the summary, it gives me the best ones right there. 110, again, not horrible, but I'm right-handed. I use my shoulder quite often. I'm active. I work out. That's below where it should be. So compared to other 29-year-old males, I am 49th percentile on the right and 68th percentile on the left. So room to improve on both sides, really. All right, so now let's do internal rotation. So for internal rotation, I expect the numbers to be a little bit higher, but again, I'm not comparing external to internal necessarily. That's why I like those normative values, because I can see not just mine, but also what normal is compared to that. So next test, we are going internal rotation. All right, so I'm gonna zero it out there, and already this one feels a lot stronger. That one felt the best for sure. Okay, so that one I could tell my form might have been slipping. That's why I like to have, I like to be able to see someone do it, but we're working with what we got, doing a self-evaluation here. Okay, so like I expected, numbers are much better on this one, especially on the right. So 67th percentile on the right, 72nd on the left. So again, both of them have room for improvement because I have higher standards for myself, because I have higher standards for my clients too. But our starting point's pretty good here. So in a second, I will snap and won't take as much time on the, I'm gonna check abduction and flexion strength just to see what the baselines are, and I'll report back in a second. So maybe I'll do like one of those like speeds up fast. I don't really know how to edit stuff, so yeah, hopefully I get this posted. We will see. Kind of winging it, so let's go. Okay, so to wrap it up, here are my results. Maybe I'll show this in a different way, but it'd be cool if I can be like, boom, here's a screenshot. I've seen people do that before when they edit. How hard is editing? Let me know. Okay, so these are the ones we talked about, the internal and external rotation. So that's a lot of rotator cuff. Then we also have the ones y'all missed, standing flexion. And I was at 53rd percentile and 61st percentile on the left. And the one that felt best, actually, was abduction, which this is abduction, the most common rotator cuff issue a lot of times is going out to the side. For me, that hasn't really ever been my problem, even when I initially tore it. But again, it could still be improved. My left one was actually much harder to do, and it felt like I could feel that it was much weaker on the left with abduction. So 74th percentile, by far my best one on the right, and then 58th on the left. So I was gonna do some range of motion testing, but this video is already way too long. So maybe next time, but hopefully tomorrow or sometime this week, I'm gonna do some practice shots, distance shots with my forehand to see where baseline is there. So if you wanna track, follow along, and do it yourself too, and see where you're at with that one. So this one, if you're really having an issue, you can find a provider near you to do some testing, or there's some other ways you can kind of do it yourself, muscle testing that doesn't take the fancy equipment. The equipment's just really a nice perk to get those really objective measures that I like to deal with when working with my clients. But there's workarounds, definitely. So if you have any questions, then leave a comment below. Please follow, and I'll be sharing my routine, my program that I'll be building out for myself for strengthening and getting some more shoulder stability and improving the pain-free mobility aspect too. So be sure to follow me on Instagram too, because I'll be posting some stuff on there. Yeah, have a blessed day, y'all.